Hi, this is Dizzy, and I wanted to talk a little about why I haven't been making videos for and about the autism community much anymore. And I know I've explained this over and over, but let's just get into it real quick. I spent about pretty much the last year having what I would call a long near-death experience, and it's extremely hard for me to want to screech to the internet about how everything is ableist. It's ridiculous. The autism community has also become just bunches of munchies, bunches of people with Munchausen syndrome. Everyone suddenly, in the past few years, it's really gone downhill. It's been, you have to believe someone's exact politics, the main few advocates who all dance on TikToks like this and then pretend they didn't choreograph it to a song. That's not how stimming works. We have it's turned into a cult. The actually autistic movement has turned into a cult. And I just don't want to be a part of it. And I got diagnosed when I was 20, so I was part of the initial loudmouths of here's some female traits. There are female traits that doctors miss. And people now don't even want gendered lists or me to say the word women with an E. Well, guess what? Women with an E. I'm a woman with an A, not an X. So it is what it is. Gendered lists help a lot of you get your diagnosis before you decided you were non-binary. Also, everyone getting up in arms that people say, hey, maybe self-diagnosis isn't the most valid thing. It's not. And I have defended self-diagnosis, especially because coming from a small town myself, I was diagnosed at 20. I didn't have the resources. There weren't those type of doctors around. It's also expensive, but you can get, if it's affecting your life, trust me, you're going to want the damn diagnosis. If it's actually affecting your life, you're going to want the diagnosis. So that's another part of it. The nonstop harassment that people in the autism community like to take part in as well does not appeal to me. It just really doesn't. It's gone from like I'm the type of person that'll post like a screenshot of something and be like, haha, look at this fool. And people in the community have gone way beyond what even I think is appropriate. It has become a political cult. You can go look at the main activists' Instagram pages. It's almost all about LGBTQTABCBD plus stuff. And I'm bi, so don't even come at me about being homophobic or whatever. But what the hell does that have to do with being autistic? Why do we, and when I say we, I mean people with an Asperger's presentation of autism, because I know how everyone flips out when a functioning label is used. Why we think we can just bulldoze over the fact that some people have symptoms so severe they can't make little YouTube videos about this. It's annoying. Because, yeah, I'm not like a pro-cure person. First of all, I don't think it can happen. Second of all, I think a lot of the really harsh symptoms come from a sensory-oriented issue more than just the autism. But when someone like me is walking around and they're forced to say I'm autistic, I feel like I'm making fun of people who have a different presentation of autism. It's not because I think I'm better than someone who maybe is mute, like full-time mute. It's because I feel like it sounds like I'm making fun of them when I say I'm autistic. It's ridiculous. It's that doctors don't even want to take you seriously when you say it. If I say I was diagnosed with Asperger's or I have Asperger's, that works better. It just is better to say. Now, if you want to say that's ableist or whatever, fine. But is it not also ableist that people who are on the spectrum in a different presentation, who are more vulnerable, aren't taken seriously because people who look like us and act like us and know there's no way to look autistic. But I can obviously speak, take care of myself. I don't need a caretaker. People who do need caretakers, etc., have people running around forced to say they're autistic, and kind of takes the realness out of the word for people who need resources. And yes, people with my presentation can need resources, which again brings me back to, why don't you get your diagnosis if you need resources? See where I'm going here? You see where I'm going? And if you take Autism Speaks out of the autism community, we have literally nothing to talk about anymore. I mean, I do, but no one wants to listen to me talk about autism symptoms or how to improve your life. They want to listen and watch people stem dance on TikTok about their self-diagnosis and how very valid they are. After what I've been through the past year, do you really think I want to waste my time on that? It's not that I don't care about the autism community. Obviously I do. But when this is what it's become, I'm placing myself firmly on the side of people who want to improve their lives, improve other people's lives, and just do better. I do not have time to just be bitter and angry at the internet because someone didn't respect my pronoun of pinky self. And yes, that is something I encountered recently. And then I got attacked because I said, the world's going to eat you alive if you think people are going to call you a pinky self as your pronoun. How dare you harass a 16-year-old? What I actually did was tell the 16-year-old to stop sending doxes of themselves to strange people on the internet. I was like, you don't know who I am? You don't know that I'm not a serial killer? Kid, you better be glad that you dox yourself to me. I'm not going to dox a 16-year-old who doxed themselves. But I was just warning them to be careful in the autism community if they are really autistic. They sent me their DX. Don't do that. Young autistic people, if you think you're autistic or if you have a diagnosis now, don't dox yourself to prove your diagnosis to people on the internet, to people like me. Okay? I might be sitting here saying, yeah, if it's really affecting your life, get the diagnosis, or maybe say you suspect instead of just self-diagnosing. And I'm talking about adults. If you really suspect you're on the spectrum, or if you are diagnosed, be careful in the autism community if you're real young. I mean, I'm still in my 20s, but be careful. And especially some of these people who say that if you're autistic, you have to be hypersexual or asexual. You have to be one or the other. Because I have encountered people, and I have made videos about this, where they will try to talk you into doing things, saying it's a sensory activity, when it's actually something, it's not a sensory activity, but it's also many other activities, if you feel me. It's become predatory. I mean, look through my videos. I've made a habit the past few years of pointing out predatory behavior in the community. Y'all can't really be surprised that I'm tired of this. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop making videos, but I still care about the community. I had a friend who just got his diagnosis, and I am so happy for him. So happy. Believe me. I'm not going to stop talking about autistic stuff altogether, but are y'all going to accept the new content about the things I'm actually interested in? I started this channel 10 years ago, y'all. And unlike Shoe on Head, I grew up. I love y'all very much. Check out my candles and stuff. And I do have some thoughts on sensory related stuff with masks I might talk about. Although y'all might not want to hear about masks anymore. Let me know.